Welcome to Vuln Vibes. Today we're diving into a really significant security issue. It's a critical remote code execution vulnerability discovered in the OpenCTI platform.
That's right. We're talking about CVE 2025-24977, and it's got a CVSS score of 9.1, which is pretty severe.
9.1, yeah. So for those of you using OpenCTI for your cyber threat intelligence management, this definitely needs immediate attention.
Absolutely. Our goal today is basically to unpack the specifics of this flaw. We want to look at the potential impact, how it could affect your infrastructure, and crucially, the essential steps for mitigation.
Okay, let's get into it. The vulnerability seems to originate within OpenCTI's webhook feature.
Exactly. Webhooks are, well, they're pretty common for customizing messages, setting notifications.
Right, automating communications based on events.
Precisely. And in OpenCTI, this customization uses JavaScript. Users can actually input JavaScript code into a webhook template field.
Oh, okay. And that's where the problem lies, I assume, the ability to inject code.
That's the core issue. A malicious user, someone with the right permissions perhaps, could exploit this. They could inject malicious JavaScript into that template field.
Leading to command execution.
Yes, leading to the execution of arbitrary commands directly on the underlying infrastructure, the server or container where OpenCTI is actually running.
Now, I read there was some kind of protection layer,
Yeah.
something meant to prevent loading external modules.
There was, yeah. An attempt was made to sandbox it, to stop it from importing potentially dangerous external JavaScript modules like child process, for instance.
Oh, they could be bypassed?
Unfortunately, yes, that protection could be circumvented, which opens the door fully to arbitrary command execution.
And this gets particularly hairy when we talk about how OpenCTI is often deployed, right? Containers.
Exactly. Many organizations run OpenCTI in Docker or Kubernetes containers, and a very common, though often risky practice is passing sensitive secrets, API keys, database passwords, things like that, as environment variables to these containers.
So connect the dots for us. How does the RCE vulnerability interact with these environment variables?
Well, because the malicious JavaScript executes within the context of the OpenCTI process inside the container, it inherently has access to the process's environment variables.
Oh, wow. So the attacker executes code via the webhook.
Yes, and that code can then simply read these sensitive environment variables. It's a direct path to exfiltrating secrets.
That's incredibly serious. We're not just talking command execution anymore, but data theft too.
It elevates the impact significantly, and it really underscores the importance of managing secrets properly in containerized environments, maybe using secrets management tools rather than just environment variables.
And the advisory mentioned root access.
That's correct. Successful exploitation doesn't just give you some access, it grants the attacker a root shell within the container.
Root inside the container. What are the implications there? Lateral movement.
Potentially, yes. Root in the container is a powerful foothold. From there, an attacker might try to exploit other vulnerabilities, maybe kernel exploits if the container isn't properly secured, or misconfigurations in the network or orchestration layer.
So it could be a launch pad for compromising the wider infrastructure, potentially leading to, well, major data breaches or deeper network penetration.
It's certainly a possibility that needs to be considered. It depends on the overall security posture, of course, but the risk is definitely there.
Okay, let's make sure everyone knows the affected version. This specific CDE, 2025-24977, impacts OpenCTI Platform version 6.4.8.
Correct. If you're running 6.4.8, you are vulnerable.
But there's a patch available.
Thankfully, yes. The OpenCTI team released version 6.4.11, which specifically addresses and resolves this critical flaw.
So the clear recommendation is to upgrade immediately.
Absolutely. Upgrade to 6.4.11 or any later version as soon as possible. That's the primary mitigation.
You know, this whole situation is a stark reminder, isn't it? We need constant vigilance, even with tools we rely on for security itself, like a threat intelligence platform.
It really is. It shows how a feature designed for flexibility, like customizable webhooks, can unfortunately be turned into a weapon. And achieving root-level RCE through something like this, it highlights the need for deep security audits and, critically, timely patching.
It also ties into broader trends, doesn't it? The complexity of modern applications, the reliance on open-source components, the way containerization changes the attack surface.
Definitely. Features aimed at usability or integration can introduce unforeseen risks. It means security needs to be baked in, continuously assessed, not just bolted on.
So for everyone listening who uses OpenCTI, the message is clear. Check your version. If it's 6.4.8, prioritize that upgrade to 6.4.1 or newer. Protect your infrastructure from this RCE risk and potential secret theft.
And maybe take this as a prompt to think more broadly. Consider this. How does the interconnectedness, especially in containerized or cloud environments, potentially amplify the blast radius of a single vulnerability like this one? And what proactive steps, beyond just patching this specific issue, can you take to harden your deployments against these kinds of cascading risks?